tell us about my all-time favorite member of Congress, Dan Crenshaw.
Yeah. So he's a tough one. He's a hothead on Twitter now.
He's out of control.
Yeah, I don't understand why he's taken this stance a little bit.
Because I think his personal life is out of control.
Yeah, because he used to be like a right-wing darling. Like he was, with the Navy SEALs, I think early on. Again,
not with me. I always thought he was a freak and a warmonger.
Really? Yeah.
Weirdo, yeah. He's a freak and a warmonger weirdo, but yeah.
He's showing it now.
Yeah.
Did you see the free press he did where we posted this? He essentially comes out and he's like, supporting politician stock trading. He's like, if you get rid of it, you're gonna get crappy politicians, and it's like, what are you talking about? Like we're not asking you guys to.
That's like saying
not get paid.
If you don't allow the police to shake down speeders at gunpoint, you're gonna get a worse kind of cop.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's yeah. So he had a fiery one with the free press probably about like 2 months ago. Right before Thanksgiving.
I saw that.
So sure, yeah, why not? Don't let us trade stocks. How about we'll just keep whipping ourselves. How about we don't make any money either? How about just cut our paychecks? We haven't gotten a pay raise since 2008, even a COLA increase. So yeah, this is a great idea. Let's make Congress a place where only the millionaires can actually afford to do the job. This is a wonderful idea.
His portfolio, though, in particular, he's up around like 48 to 50%, and all of this. I got to say this for compliance reasons. Like you can see all this on our app, it's all right there. So I may kind of be, depending on the day, but he outperformed the market. He was right below Pelosi.
He's an idiot though. I mean, with no business background that I'm aware of. So like, how would you do that?
His stocks, the one that in particular that really frustrated me about him was Meta. So with the stocks that he's buying his portfolio is comprised of Meta, which he's crushing it, up like 200%. He bought the dip perfectly back in 2022, I believe, like pretty much perfectly. The thing started flying. He bought Amazon. He bought FAS, which is a finance ETF. He bought the SPY, and then he bought Wynn Resorts, and then he bought some other company. The stock though that crushed it for him was Meta, and the part that I get annoyed about, aside from TikTok bans, this and that, he buys the stock a couple months later, starts pushing and publicly vocalizing like, hey, everyone, we should ban TikTok, and it's like pretty convenient to say when you own TikTok's main competitor. And every time you're saying that, the stock's going up 5%. He then goes off and starts asking for the ban on, and again, like I feel like I'm pretty pro ban TikTok, so there's a whole world with that. But he then goes off and votes against the bill to ban TikTok. So now you got a politician that is buying TikTok's main competitor, Meta. You're then publicly talking about how you want to ban it from government officials' phones, to then voting on the bill to ban TikTok, all while the stock has gone up 200% while you've owned it.
This is like, you're shocking me.
Yeah, I'm numb to it.
and when he gets called out on it, and this is one of the reasons I dislike him, and I do think that there's a lot wrong with him personally, so I do feel sorry for him. A lot wrong. I mean, I know that. But anyway, leaving that aside, the reason I don't like him is because he's self-righteous.
Yeah.
If I catch you shoplifting and then you punch me in the face and scream how you're being victimized, I can't deal with that. Just admit you're shoplifting. Say sorry and I'll forgive you and move on. But don't yell at me.
Yeah. Or even just help the conversation. Be like, yeah, I mean, if you guys are allowing us, like, I'll vote on it, this and that. Like, just be open and be transparent about it.
Yes.
Like, you don't have to attack and, gaslight.
No, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. And boy, is he a specialist in that area.
Yeah. Yeah. The free press one, I'll send it to you after.
I've seen it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That one gets my blood boiling.
When you sleep better, you live better, you feel better, and you live longer. Sleep is really important, but there's a lot acting against us who are trying to get a good sleep, starting with screen time. It scrambles your brain, makes it hard to sleep. So we're thinking a lot about sleep, not getting as much as we should. So a new partner we want to tell you about can help you. It's called Beam's Dream Powder, and it's made with a blend of all natural ingredients. It's not made by Pfizer. It's science-backed, it's American-built and run, and best of all, it legitimately tastes good. It can help you fall asleep, stay asleep, and wake up feeling amazing. Everybody in the staff loves it. No more tossing and turning during the night. No more groggy wake-ups, desperate for the coffee. We're not the only ones who use it. So many people have used Beam that has improved over 17.5 million nights of sleep. They're keeping track, helping Americans from all over the country wake up feeling good and ready to go. We're getting a huge discount, 47% off for this show. Try their best-selling Dream Power. Get 47% off for a limited time. Go to shopbeam.com, shopbeam.com/Tucker. Use the code Tucker at checkout and get a massive discount. We can't recommend this enough. Everyone here loves it. We think you will also. It's an American company, by the way. Awesome.
Because it's like, what frustrates me about this stuff is you can't sit on the committee. You can't be voting on these things. You can't be doing all this stuff in front of the American public. Meanwhile, I have a friend that is a consultant at EY or Deloitte. He can't trade individual stocks. I got friends in banking that can't trade individual stocks. It's like, why can you not let the low-level analysts at JP Morgan buy, Apple?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you got these politicians buying up this $500 million military construction company all right in front of us.
I know the answer. Do you want to hear the answer? Because after the financial crisis that Congress helped cause, Congress runs in with Dodd-Frank, Chris Dodd and Barney Frank, member of the Senate, member of the House, both Democrats, and they come up with all these regulations that are supposedly going to protect America from future disasters of this kind. And they, pass these so-called reforms, destroy the banking sector, really, don't make it less corrupt, just kind of wreck it, take all the innovation out of it, and then they don't apply those same standards to themselves. Right? I mean, that's kind of the short...
Rules for thee, not for me.
Is that a fair...
Yeah, 100%. And the history of the Stock Act, it started because of the housing crisis.
Yeah.
So it was initially introduced in 2006. And the Stock Act, literally, what it says is stop trading on congressional knowledge. That's what it means. So if you have a bill that literally says stop trading on congressional knowledge as the name of the act, you know that there's something already sketchy going on. And why was that not a thing to begin with?
And so what happened to it?
So in 2006, it got introduced. No politicians cared about it, whatever. After the housing crisis, they found out and they realized that there were around 33 politicians that set their portfolios up after talking with the officials at the Fed and, the people building out the monetary policy. They reconstructed their portfolios while that whole crisis was going on. They didn't have to display or publicly talk about it because the Stock Act wasn't announced. All that stuff came out after that, while the housing market is crashing and Americans are losing their homes left and right, these politicians are moving millions, reconstructing their portfolios after getting out of the meetings with the Fed officials. So that's how it came back onto the center stage. The Stock Act then gets introduced in 2012, and then it gets passed shortly after that. What is crazy in my head, though, is what the heck was going on before it?
Yeah.
That I think was, we were talking off camera, our generation, we grow up with it and we're used to it now because of things like that. It's how can they have not had any limitations before 2012? What were they doing?
I can't answer your question. Clearly, it's been very corrupt for a long time. Well, they murdered the president of the United States in 1963, and no one was ever held accountable for it. Looking back, you can say, boy, we've had big problems for a long time. But I can tell you, as someone who grew up right in the middle of it in D.C., in Georgetown, while this stuff was going on, when those COVID trades, you started our conversation by describing how Kelly Loeffler was involved in that. Yep. And all this stuff. I was part of me, I think I was the only person at Fox News who did anything on it because it was a great story. But even as I was doing the story, I was like, there's got to be another explanation. This can't be real. That trading on a pandemic?
Yeah.
Insider trading on a pandemic. I was like, you have to be a monster to do that. This can't actually have happened.
That was me with the Pelosi tracker every day in the early days. I remember a couple of these trades, and there's so many now, but I remember calling my dad up and I'm like, wait a second, is this actually, are they actually trading?
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. We hope you'll subscribe to it. And by the way, you can hit the little bell on there and get notifications every time we produce a video. We hope you'll do that also.